Oh, we're live. It's Wednesday morning,
Last Wednesday of the year.
right? Oh, Brittany is with us. Brittany. Um, so Wednesday. Now the Bethlehem star is gone. We're in full moon right now, right?
Yes, we are. It was yesterday. It peaked yesterday. But yep, we're pretty quiet now
Hmm.
until next year. So that's not too bad. Sometime during this podcast or whatever this is called, I have some things that you should do on New Year's Eve to get yourself more money next year.
Oh, I say we talk about that.
Okay, so I've got a couple things. Let me know when you want to talk about that, unless we have a question.
Not yet. So we can. I think everybody would be willing to know about things for prosperity.
And this really does work. It's amazing. The first thing you want to do is get 3 pennies, and you take a little piece of aluminum foil, and you wrap the penny up, and you do it to 3 of them. Once the penny is wrapped on New Year's Eve day, take these pennies and put them in a window or on a windowsill that faces either the east or the west. It's really good if the sun can shine on them.
Okay.
And on January 6th, which is the Epiphany, which is the Feast of the Three Kings, you
Hmm.
take the tinfoil off and you go spend the 3 cents someplace. You just have to spend it. You give it back. So that's the first thing you want to do. If you can gag them down, if you can eat a little bit of lentils right after midnight, that is supposed to make you money. There is actually, and I believe Campbell's has actual lentil soup. So if you just want to open up a can of soup and have a mouthful of it right after midnight, I made some lentil soup yesterday, so we've got it, and I handed it out to my sisters. Um, right after midnight, if you have steps in your house, go to the bottom step, start with your right foot, go up one, your left foot, and your right foot, stop, come back down with your left foot, your right foot, and then down. Just do that one time. And an odd thing here, they say that it's not bad, but it's better if you don't take your Christmas tree down until after January 1st. I know some people take them down way earlier. They want to get them in the trash or whatever. But they do say that you should try to keep them up until then at least. So,
Well, it's a
and
good thing I didn't plan to take the one at the store down until then.
yeah, don't take them down. Right, correct. And I'm going to talk about these on the YouTube at 5:30 today too. So if you didn't catch them today, or now, you can go back down. And this replaced too. So, you know, but it's pretty easy. And remember, it's really, really important. Don't eat any kind of fowl on New Year's Day. Duck, turkey, chicken, nothing. Your all your good fortune flies out the window. That's
Hmm.
why you eat pork on New Year's Day. And if you don't like pork, at least eat a piece of bacon. The fat, you want fat for money, lots of money.
I hadn't heard that last one.
Yeah, that has been around forever, forever. Actually, there's a story about it on YouTube uh, tonight that I'm going to do. So, but no foul at all. Didn't you ever wonder why people always have pork on midnight, right after midnight, when you go to parties and stuff?
I've never heard or noticed or in like the few times that like I've gone to those Halloween, that's where my real fun is.
Right.
New Year's holiday celebrations at like some of these restaurants where they do the late night thing and then they serve you breakfast.
Right.
It's like they always had eggs, ham, but I just figured they were serving everything for everybody, regardless of their taste. Like,
Right. No, but I mean, and eggs don't, I mean, eggs is not eating chicken meat. That's totally different. So you can eat eggs, but no meat from any kind of fowl at all.
hmm,
It's, I know it's so silly, but it really does work.
okay. Now, when you said to eat fat, though, for prosperity, if somebody were vegetarian or vegan, can they get away with like the nuts and stuff that are like the good fats?
It really has to be some kind of pork.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. Is there a vegan pork substitute? I don't think so.
I've never looked because I've never wanted to put that in my mouth.
Yeah, right. And you don't even eat bacon?
Oh, I do, but it's the substitutes and the fake meats, the fake, I'd rather just eat the salads and stuff than try to the fake.
How about why don't you get a bottle of those Bako chips that people sprinkle on their salads and eat one of those?
Oh, I have no problem eating bacon. Like, I'm not vegetarian,
Okay,
but I was asking for somebody who was.
for those that you don't, you just got to get creative. I don't know what to say.
Oh, so Laura says pigs root around and push forward, and you want to move forward. That's what her dad used to tell her for eating the pork.
Thank you for letting us know. That's cool. Okay. See, everybody's got a little something.
Right. Brittany's like, that's not bacon. Or chocolate covered bacon. Sometimes you can find that kind of candy.
Oh boy, no. I don't think I could do that. Okay. Bagel bits aren't really bacon?
I don't know.
I've never bought them or looked at them, but I thought they were.
Right, where Marlena was like, any excuse to eat bacon. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
For the longest time, I'll still do turkey bacon because Rune prefers, he's not big on the greasy red meat type of stuff, so he prefers turkey. But my mom and dad do the real pork bacon, so I'll go over there, and if they've got some, I'll snitch a piece of
turkey bacon. No.
That counts as the foul.
Eating it on purpose, right?
So let's see. There was a question about whether or not, and I can't find it here in the scrolling now. If you have been to Italy, and if you went, did you get to go see the family's quince farm?
I have never been to Italy. My sisters have, and obviously my mother and my grandmother being from there, but they've invited me so many times, but I'm almost afraid, or I used to be afraid if I went, they'd never let me leave. They'd keep me there. So because they all say, you got to come to our house. You got to come to us. You got to do this. And you know what? You can only stay away from home for so long. So I'm thinking, no. And now there's the virus, so you can't go anywhere anyway. So.
Right. So that's your excuse for now that you don't go.
Correct. And guess who forgot to take the phone off the hook?
If we get really fancy, we expand our ghost tours, to Italy.
You know what? Italy, actually, I could probably find all kinds of places to do in Italy just because all my relatives are there. And you're talking first, second, third, fourth cousins, and everybody's a paisan or a kumba. So, so you could find places. But like I said before, where there's castles, where people make money off of their castles, their haunted castles, they don't want me anywhere near those places.
Mm. Well, and that's, there's that one in, I think it's Scotland, that all of the TV ghost shows have been to, and it's supposed to be the most haunted thing inside and out, things walking around on the outside. And I'm like, how much of this is hype versus, because it's an empty castle. It's not like there's custodians that are there all the time, upkeeping.
Where are they getting energy from?
Right.
Yeah, they're probably in the serfs' houses down in the valley.
The peasants. Let's go bug the peasants.
Right.
So Brittany says if we go to Italy, she's in. She'll join in on it.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay.
So Patrick asks, in the book you talked about animal spirits. He's wondering if ghost animals cuddle up with people. Like, do they jump onto your laps and whatnot?
Yeah, actually, our Bashan, who's been dead way over 35 years now, he still is around. He won't go. I guess when I die, I'll have to take him with me. But Ted sleeps on his back, and Major only weighed about 11 or 12 pounds. So he would get in between Ted's knees and ankles during the night and sleep right where his legs met. And you'd hear Ted go, Major, get off, my legs are asleep. And guess what? There are times he's still putting Ted's legs asleep. So, yeah. He still jumps on the couch and knocks the pillows off, and I still scold him for doing that. And his ears go down because I've been yelling at him. Yeah. But I have tried. We've moved 4 times. I figured he'd get lost someplace, but he's followed us every time.
Now,
So,
do Bill and Bob, like, are they cool with him being there? Or do they, like, why is this dog running around the house?
all of a sudden, I'll see one of them go, like, what was that? Like they were looking at something. And if I look around the corner, Major was really good with other animals, so the cats never bothered him. The only thing that ever bothered him was when he died, I got another Bichon puppy because I didn't listen to myself when I told people don't ever buy the same dog that just died because you'll be comparing. And oh my God, he drove that puppy crazy. I had to give that puppy away. I couldn't keep him. And he was fine. He's fine with the cats. He's fine when I had the guinea pig, with the hedgehog, but not another Bichon. No. I'm the only white dog there is.
Oh. I own this house. You will not.
That's right. Nobody else is going to lick her face but me. So, which wasn't even allowed because I don't like licks. So.
Right. Well, you hear people who they love the puppy breath and everything. I'm like, oh
no, I've never liked that. Never.
No,
it smells like gasoline to me, or it's not a good smell to me at all.
Right. So if anybody's new joining us, feel free to type in questions in the comments. Marianne is answering them live for you. She can answer questions about Earthbound Spirits, negative energy and curses, portals, some on fairies. So let's see. Patrick says he had a poodle. The neighbor had a Bichon. We used to have a Lhasa Apso years ago, and his name was Ewok. Because and he was brown. So
there you go. Yeah.
But let's see, what other questions might we have? Now, when you were mentioning the pennies and wrapping them in foil and putting them on the windowsill for prosperity, I have read and tried where you put like a gold dollar coin in a cup and fill it with rice, and you put it by your door.
And heard that one.
And you change it out every year, but you know how rice absorbs. So, and like attracts like, so the money attracts money in, and the rice helps hold it and keep it, there. And then you switch it out yearly just because it's rice.
What's a gold coin?
Like a gold dollar, like those gold dollar coins.
Oh, Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't. Okay, I figured maybe a piece of gold jewelry that's really gold.
Okay.
The other thing, which I forgot until you said that, if you got a piece of sterling, like a $50 or a silver dollar that doesn't have fill in it, that it's one of the old pieces, if you can dig it, put a little hole close to the house and put it in the dirt, and the next day put it in on the 31st and go the next day and dig it up, that's supposed to bring you money too. Just remember where you put it.
Oh. Let's see. So, a lot of people commenting. We've got a couple new people. So welcome, Denise. So I think Susan here is asking, I was watching a Clint Eastwood movie on TV. Suddenly the TV kept on changing to a different channel. This happened 3 times. And yelled out, "This is my TV and I want to watch the Clint Eastwood." So can ghosts change your channel on you?
Yes, and especially a week working up to a full moon, or if it's an eclipse or anything like that. It's not that they actually go over and turn it, but they can easily push buttons on a remote, or if they stand right next to it, it'll go wonky that way. So yeah, ghosts can do. I mean, some people are sound asleep, and all of a sudden the TV just goes on in the middle of the night. So they absolutely can do that.
Let's see. Well, it's funny because we have that little guardian spirit in the store, Bob, and he used to hate a certain person, and I won't say it out loud because she is local and she is a reader, but she's got meditation CDs out. And we used to have this like 100 disc changer in the store that would play CDs. And anytime one of those CDs come on, it would stop and move, or spin halfway around. Because he just did not like
message from those CDs. Right. Got it.
I was like, quit messing with that.
You have to understand, people that are earthbound spirits, they have the same personality they had when they were alive. If they hated strawberries when they were dead or alive, they would still hate strawberries if they ate now. So, they can hear, they can't read your mind, but they can hear anything that's said if they're in the room.
Right. Even if you whisper.
That's right. Because that's what people usually do standing at the casket, whisper so that somebody doesn't put them in a cookie factory. Go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. So, one of the law enforcement agencies that I do work for, whenever they get a body and they take it to the morgue, every time, and they still have they still have to take fingerprints of them when they're in the morgue. And the whole time he's taking their fingerprints of this dead person, his head is down. He's going, go to the light, go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. He's just telling them to go. So, but yeah, it's weird.
So Andrew was wondering, what causes portals and what do they look like to you?
Negative energy from live people cause portals, not dead people. So sometimes if there was a house or somebody was murdered or somebody had bad addictions or was a nasty, nasty divorce or somebody was being abused in the house was broken into, or what has been most recent is when people started, and I'm going to see it again, I bet you, about 5 or 10 years ago, when everybody was losing their houses because the economy took a dive. Foreclosure, people would just punch a hole in the wall, and the negative energy was so bad. And I just hope that doesn't happen now with the economy as bad as it is again. And I think people are losing their houses again now. So that's one thing flippers have to be really aware of. Or if you buy a house that was flipped, or you buy a house from an estate sale, or you buy a house that's auctioned off, I would say now at least 50 to 60% of those houses probably have a portal in them.
I would almost have to say business properties too,
Definitely.
All these small businesses that are having to shut down because they can't make it, restaurants especially.
So the portal is there. You lost the business, you're out, but then they found somebody else to rent the space and they come in and that's going down the tubes because of the portal. So you do. I mean, anytime you're going into a building that has an existed building and there was something else in it or, something like that, it never, just make a phone call from inside there. I can tell from that if there's a portal or not. So, and it can be fixed. So it's not like you're stuck, but it can be removed. So it's not a game changer. You can fix it. And
it's not an issue of, sell your house or suffer it,
you had a portal in your shop that we fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that really happened in that particular room, some of the readings were a little wonky, depending on who was out of the portal. But portals, I mean, pretty easy to be blowing up. They really are.
Right. Which should answer the question for Carla. It's like, how do I tell if I have a portal in my house? To really knock it out, easy, quick answer, join us on one of the Zooms, which the next one with availability is the 18th, which is a Monday night. And Marianne can tell you if you have spirits, if you have a portal, if you have a curse on you. So you don't really have to
guess. Yeah, you can call and leave a message from where you think the problem is. But it's going to be, now that we have the vaccine available, and I think people think we're all going to have it within a month, which is not going to happen. But all of a sudden, can you come now that there's a vaccine? So the calls, what was 4 to 5 weeks, is a little bit longer right now. So Zoom is really faster.
Yeah. And, as they fill up, we'll add more. So, if the 18th, because the 8th is already full, the 18th is open, you can join us on the 18th. If that one books really quick, we'll add another one. So Patrick had a 2-part question. And this is interesting because we hear this a lot with these TV shows with ghosts. Can the Earthbounds get trapped somewhere?
The only way that they can get trapped is if you have an Earthbound spirit in your house and you put up my quincies, they cannot get out. That is the only way that an Earthbound spirit can be trapped. They cannot be trapped any other way that I know of. I will throw that out there. I don't know everything, obviously, but that maybe there is another way. Sea salt isn't going to do it. A stone isn't going to do it. I don't know anything else. Throwing holy water around isn't going to do it. So I don't know. That's the only way that I know for sure.
Okay. Because I actually had a young couple in maybe about a week and a half ago, and the father had died, and they were worried because they were moving, dad's going to be trapped in the current apartment, and once we move, dad can't come. And I'm like, no, stop it. He can go anywhere. Don't, cancel moving because of that thought.
Well, that's the thing too. A person doesn't have to die in a place to stay. They can go anywhere they want. Everybody says, well, she lived here 100 years ago. How do you know? Maybe she moved in 3 weeks ago and she came from another state. You don't know. It's like they always want to have all the ghosts in Gettysburg because all the soldiers that died there. I was there. And I hate to burst any bubble here, folks, but they were hanging around in the cemeteries more, sad because they weren't in their family plots and that kind of thing. I have to admit, I was there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would probably think when they do the reenactments that some of them are probably there now. But the way people talk about these crowds at all these ghosts, no, I've never seen that.
Let's see. Now that I've got rid of it. So Gina says, Marianne, the last time I was on Zoom, you said I had a curse on me. Now that I've gotten rid of my boyfriend, do I still have to do the curse removal from your book?
Just because he's gone doesn't mean the curse is gone. The curse actually has to be removed. It doesn't disappear. There's a couple things you can try. Get some sea salt and take a bath instead of a shower, and maybe 2 or 3 times a week, throw that sea salt in your bath water and soak in it. The best way to describe how that would work, if you had a hard-boiled egg and you were going to eat it, and you hit the egg with the spoon to crack the shell, and you didn't hit it hard enough, and the whole thing has got these tiny little cracks all over the egg. That's what the sea salt will do if you take a bath. And if you do it more than 2 or 3 times a week, it'll make the cracks bigger and it will lessen the curse. If you don't like to take a bath, I have the Blessed Sea Salt soap. That works the same way. Smudge, the smoke from smudge will help remove some negative energy on a person too. But to make sure that it's really off of you, just do the little ceremony on the back of the book. It'll take you 5 minutes. Why mess with it?
Right. So Lewis asks, if someone gets shot in their head, is their spirit walking around with a giant wound in the back of the head? It's another thing.
Right. No. The spirit is always whole. It's the body that is missing parts and pieces or have holes in their head or anything else. The spirit is always, always, always whole. As a matter of fact, a funeral that I had gone to before all this virus business, her father had died, and he was standing at the foot of the casket where they usually stand. And so I'm looking at him, and he's bent at the waist, and he's taking his hands and he's like tapping on his shins, between the knee and the ankle. Mm-hmm. He's like, and I'm thinking, why is he doing that? So, and I said to the girl, I said, why is your father doing this? And I explained it to her, and she started crying. I went, stop. Why is he doing that? Well, you couldn't tell from the casket, but he was a diabetic. He didn't have legs. And he was so shocked standing there at the foot of the casket that he had his legs back. And he was just kept tapping them to make sure they were really his, I guess. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, no, people that are missing parts and pieces, no. The spirit is, I have never seen a spirit puke. I've never seen a spirit carry their head. No. TV, movies, no.
So I don't get to reenact like Beetlejuice and move my head around.
No. And what's the one with, oh my gosh, the movie with the little boy, Osmond. Sixth Sense. That movie was actually pretty accurate, except for them hanging from the ceiling or puking or, him seeing them blowing cold air out of their mouth. But no. Again, movies, not real.
It gets you watching, though.
It does. I just sit there and go, now, where did they come up with that from? That doesn't happen. That's why I don't watch any paranormal ghost shows on TV, because it would make me crazy.
So a different Gina says, I've had 2 experiences in my life when an earthbound entity touched me, one on the shoulder and once on the leg. Were these ghosts more powerful than others, and how are they able to do this?
Gina, they're pure energy, and you can feel the energy when they touch you or pull your hair or blow in your ear or run their fingernails down your back when you're taking a shower. They can do this. A lot of times they have a lot more energy, again, working up to a full moon. However, if you live in a house with 5 or 6 people, a mom, a dad, and 4 teenagers, a ghost in there is going to have a lot of energy. If you live alone, not so much. But if you live with a group of people, more than 2 or 3 people, A ghost can easily fix the covers, pat you on the cheek, hide stuff in your drawers. Yeah, they could absolutely do that.
So Denise says, with this pandemic and so many people not able to have funerals, sorry about your niece. Do you feel there are a lot of spirits wandering or waiting for their memorial to go into the light?
Yes, I think that's definitely a possibility. I have done a lot of virtual funerals, and I can see the spirit at the funeral, however they're doing it. I, I don't know if they're doing it with their self, whatever it is. And most of them are going to cross. They're just so disgusted. I mean, now there's going to be a couple, but think about it. Even people that didn't have a funeral, the relatives usually still have some kind of memorial service. And if you're having that, then they'll stay for that and go right after. But some of them that are real stubborn, they absolutely could stay. And the problem is, after, how many are going to be stuck because they lost their life?
Well, and that maybe answers part of another question here. With all the people we are losing to COVID, are you seeing more spirits around?
Well, no, because I'm not going anywhere either. So I don't really see any more of them. However, from the phone calls that I'm getting, these ghosts are getting so much energy because we're so stressed out. We're aggravated. We're crazy in the house. I mean, and look at that energy that we're putting out. So they are actually stronger and they're loving every minute of this. Every minute of this. There's that crazy commercial that's on TV now for a dating service where it's the devil and he meets the girl under the bridge and he says, "Are you 2020?" She says, "Just call me 2020." And they went, "Oh my God, that commercial just cracked me up. Oh, we're so sorry to see this year go. It was a great year." Well, yeah, maybe for the devil it's a great year, but it certainly wasn't great for us.
Let's see. So Lewis asks, do you believe in supernaturally charged places? There is a place here in London, which he's in London, called Highgate Cemetery that made headline news in the 80s because it was supposedly riddled with ghosts and vampires and whatnot. Believe the government or the council got involved because it was causing so much of an issue. We're getting murdered over. Maybe this is part of the pandemic thing. Now, I know I've seen on some of the shows where, like, oh, this certain area is where ley lines cross, or it's right over here and it's supercharged, and that's why all of this is going on. I mean, have you found that to be true in some places that you've seen, maybe?
I have not, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just like people that use tape recorders and get something on tapes, voices and all that. I've never put much stock in that either. There may be something to those ley lines, but again, earthbound spirits need human energy to keep going. Everybody in the cemetery is dead. Who are they going to get energy from? So of course, England is England, London is London. Who knows? But and there are so many older ghosts out there, ghosts that died in the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th century. They seem to be more modern or more newer here. I mean, I still run across ghosts here from the 1850s, but I think, again, because of the history, the age of the city, there probably, and there could be, and vampires are not ghosts. Vampires are vampires. Now, so, I didn't think that London was, I didn't think that was a big place for vampires, or werewolves, but what do I know? I don't know. That I'm not sure about.
So Michelle asks if you only see earthbound spirits, or do you ever see the spirits that crossed over and come back?
No, I used to wish I did. And then I thought, are you crazy, Marianne? Why would you want to do that when this is enough? So, no. But the interesting thing is when I can go into somebody's house and their earthbound spirit had some ability to do something like this when they were alive, if they get visits from their relatives that have passed over, they could give me information to tell the homeowner. So sometimes the homeowners get some really cool information from their mothers or their fathers that had gone into the light. But personally, no, I cannot see them. Um, uh, bah, 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 bah. James Van Prague used to only be able to do those. And the other one, Edwards, I believe those are the only ones that he could see that have crossed over. But no, I can't see them. I see the white light. I see them walk into it. They'll turn around and go, oh my God, there's my mom, my dad, or my dog. But I don't see what they're seeing.
Let's see. So Adam Riker, we can't show all of his up on the screen. He's got a question that he's lost his wife and 4 animals. Is it him, or is there something up with the house? That's hard to say without being able to see into the house. Him.
Without a call or on Zoom, I would not know if there's something in the house or not. If you've had a dream about your wife and she looked good, she looked healthy, she looked happy, then she probably has crossed over. Same thing with your dogs, and your pets show up in your dreams also. I don't know how long ago your wife died. You normally do not have a first dream of somebody that died that made it to heaven for at least 6 months. Sometimes it can take up to 2 years. So again, come on Zoom or leave a message at the end of a long list of messages and I'll get back to you.
Oh no, Gina, you cannot do the curse removal on yourself. Somebody else has to do it for you. Let's see. Carla, if I misplace something in the house, I can ask out loud for help to find the thing. The item will show up in a very strange place the next day. Who is helping her?
Okay, sometimes earthbound spirits just like to make you think you're crazy, and they will move things. And I mean, who doesn't have a junk drawer? I have 2. And if I'm looking for something and I can't find it, I'll open the junk drawer up and nope, it's not there. But 3 hours later, I open it up and there it is. They do that to you. You walk in, you throw your keys on the kitchen counter because you're going to go back out again. You throw a load of clothes in the washer, go back to the kitchen counter. Oh, gee, the keys are over on the table. And then you start thinking, what am I losing it? So no, ghosts can absolutely do that. But here's a little thing. And I used to think it was sacrilegious. Remember, I'm Catholic, and so, putting Joseph in the ground to sell the house and all that kind of stuff usually creeps me out. But this really works. If you've lost something and you can't find it, just say out loud, Tony, Tony, look around, something's lost and must be found. Usually within an hour, you will find it. And that's St. Anthony, but you just get cool with them and call him Tony. So
I always love that meme where he's there and is like looking off and it's like, really, you lost it again. I'm like, that
you don't have to be Catholic to do any of this stuff. It works across the board.
Let's see. Can you tell me where to buy the sea salt soap? On Marianne's website, mariannewinkowski.com. And then there's a shop with all the things.
Let me put this out there too. For December, we had told anybody that orders anything from the store, the shipping was only $3.99. So you've got a few days left if you're trying to order something with the lower price shipping. I have no idea when you're going to get it because of the post office. I mean, it's starting to pick up. There was something like 15, 18 that were floating around the United States, and we're down to about 6. So everybody's finally getting their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, not before Christmas, but again, to save on shipping, especially if you're out of state, $3.99 is a pretty good price.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Have you ever gone into a house where the spirits are angry at the person they are haunting? And have you ever had to sugarcoat or just ignore the message?
Boy, you just hit right to the core of it, don't you, Lewis? I'm telling you. There's a lot of things that I think are mean. And if it was something important that was going to change their life, absolutely, I would tell them. But a ghost doesn't know anymore that when they're dead than they did when they were alive. So, they can't tell you something terrible like you're going to die next week, or, they can't do that. An example would be this. I did a house and the ghost said, she just raved about her husband. She loved her husband so much. And he was acting a little weird, but she figured it was because of the ghost that was in the house and yada, yada, yada. And the ghost is standing there laughing. And I looked at the ghost. I says, what's going on? And he says, oh, him and the neighbor next door are having a grand time. And I'm thinking, whoa, okay. Now, what am I supposed to do? She's raving about what a wonderful, genteel, passionate person her husband is. I can't do that. So I just, I just sort of have to be careful. Plus, when I was doing this when I was really young, it's really hard to tell a person that's 20, 30, or 40 years older than me something like that, because I'm 17 or 22 or 30 and I'm telling them something that they really don't want to hear. So I sort of curb it a little bit.
Right. Well, and I'm sure like when you came out and got rid of the one in my house, that was not a fun guy. And I'm sure he had all sorts of things, me, the kids, the son, and I mean,
if I tell you something like, he liked that you were sleeping in your Mickey Mouse t-shirt last night. You know what? Doesn't that give you enough information where I do not have to go into detail about how nice you look when you shave your legs? No. So
right. All that's going to do is freak you out and make you mad. And you can't
do that to somebody. No, I can't do that. No.
So Michelle asks, to have one of the seed necklaces, can you have them even though your place hasn't been cleaned yet?
You can. It doesn't make any difference. The good thing is that when you wear the Quincy charm, that any earthbound spirit cannot get closer. They have to stay at least 3.5, 4 feet away from you. So if you've got them in your house, they can't get close to you. If you have your necklace on or your charm on you at night when you sleep, they can't mess with you when you're sleeping. Now, here's the thing with curses. Negative energy attracts negative energy. So if you've got negative energy on you, it's getting thicker every time somebody thinks something bad about you or says something bad to you, or you accidentally cut somebody off on the road and they run you up the flagpole and back down. That's affecting you. But if you wear the Quincy charm, the curse won't get any worse than it is at that point. It will not take it off, but it will not attract any more negative energy. And then, of course, once the negative energy is removed from you, if you go to When Ghosts Speak, do the last chapter, get it off of you, no negative energy can ever be put on you again at that point.
So speaking kind of, Gina, about the soap that she can get from your website, how many times and how long does it take to remove the curse with the sea salt soap?
I would say, probably every time you shower for at least 2 or 3 weeks. That's and it's wonderful. It makes your skin feel so good. But I would say it would take at least that long. And seeing that you're away from where the negative energy came from, I think that would probably be a really good thing.
Oh, here's a fun. Back when we were talking about that castle and the vampires, are they real? You open up that door.
Yeah. I knew. I thank you, Lewis. As soon as I think there is some truth to all of these old stories about goblins and vampires and werewolves, and I know there are fairies and leprechauns. I know that for a fact. So, thank God I've never seen a vampire to my knowledge anyway. And because an earthbound spirit doesn't have to eat or sleep, let's say the person was a vampire or a werewolf and they died and they're a ghost, they can't attack you. So you're good. My brother-in-law is scared to death of vampires and werewolves. He was 70 this year, and he still has bulbs of garlic hanging out of all of his windows in his house. And they've been that way. He's done that for 40 years.
Oh, no worries. It actually makes the conversation fun.
No, don't apologize, Lewis. It's fine. It's fine. You bring up some good points. Other people think, oh, I should have asked that. No, you're fine. No. My brother-in-law has a middle name of Julius. And somebody told him when he was a kid that there is a Julius monster. And it's like a vampire or a werewolf. So he's been afraid of that since he's probably been 10 years old.
Oh, so here's a fun question. What does the Italian two fingers mean? And I'm assuming, if you see somebody doing this or that one.
This one, yeah. Okay. This one keeps any negative energy off of you. An Italian woman could come up to you and look at you and spit on the ground and put the maloik on you. But if you've got that horn on you, it's not going to happen. It goes right back. That's pretty much all that does.
And how funny, though, that's the symbol for like heavy metal rock concerts, and they're sending back, and
And isn't that something with surfers too?
I think so, or the thumb and.
Oh, I don't know. Never surfed in my life, so I don't know.
But I've seen a quick like this too.
That one I don't know. And that's why I have the charm with this one. So okay. Yeah, but no, that one is definitely what that one is supposed to be about.
All sorts of fun things today. So Mindy, who's new and joining us. Hi, Mindy. Did I hear Marianne say that spirits cannot read our minds? Do they know your innermost secrets and thoughts? Do they stay out of private places and bet? No, they won't stay out of those creepers. But
they will not, and they're invisible, and so how much fun do they have because you don't know they're there? But definitely, they cannot read your mind. They have to hear anything you say out loud. They could hear if they're in the same room when you're speaking to somebody. A lot of times when I do houses, somebody will say, well, we were having a conversation last night in our bedroom. What were we talking about? The ghost wasn't in there. What do I know? So only if the ghost is there. One house I did, the man sat on the bottom steps of the third step up from the bottom while I was talking to his wife and his mother. And he was just sitting there with his arms crossed and with a big frown and scowl on his face. And so I get all done telling the mother, his wife and her mother, what's going on. Actually, it was somebody that they actually knew. There were two. They actually knew the one. So then he says to me, so what happened last night in our bedroom? I went, really? He went, no, not that, but something happened in my bedroom last night. And I want the ghost to tell you what happened. And I looked up thinking, oh, please, one of you be there. And the one ghost was in there and he was laughing. And he said, yeah, he got up to go to the bathroom about 3 o'clock in the morning and the cat yacked on the floor and he stepped in it. I looked at him on the bottom step and I said, ew, you stepped in cat puke? I thought he was going to fall off the step. I really did. Took care of that. Not a problem. But if they hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known. I'm not psychic. So.
Right. Oh, so Denise, so for the first time in my life, I wrote and drew the lava abundance check to herself last night around 10:17 and set my stones out for the night. Went to bed with 37 in the bank, woke up with the stimulus check.
Good for you. It works. It truly works. Except you wrote the check on a full moon, it must be. Those checks get written on new moons, not full moons. And if you think about it, you get money or stuff from the law of abundance that's not expected. So hopefully who's ever entitled to their stimulus check is going to get it, but it's expected. But you bring up a good point. This happens to people that write it on the right day, on the new moon. And I have to tell you, next month is going to be a pip. The new moon is at midnight. So as soon as it strikes midnight, you've got to write your check out. Set your clock, go to bed, wake up at 5 minutes to 12, wake up a little bit, have everything sitting out. But if you want to do it before it peaks on that day, you have to do it at midnight. That is, I don't think I've ever, in all the years I've done this, I don't think I have ever had to write a check at midnight. 2 minutes after, a minute after, but never at midnight. And you want to start the new year out right. So...
yeah, I mean, right at the starting of the new year, that's a awesome time and a way to kind of plan that out.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to seriously plan how to do that. Now, that's for Eastern Standard Time. In your time zone, it could be totally different. Lucky you that live at any one other than ours. But for Eastern Standard Time, you're going to be up if you want to do it.
So Mimi asks, which saint metal is good to have for traveling, especially while flying?
Oh gosh, which is the one for war, Ted? The battle. For the guys to wear, or the people that are in serving, that's the same one for flying. And I don't remember that saint that does that.
Is it Christopher?
Christopher's driving. I believe it's St. Joseph. Yeah, because he sells your house too. I think it's St. Joseph. I could check that though and let you know next week. But I think it's St. Joseph. However, if you have a quincy charm on you, ghosts will not be anywhere around you on a plane. And they can mess up planes pretty bad. So I believe in wearing the charm. And definitely think about this. When you're boarding a plane, go down the ramp, you get up and you put your hand on the plane to get into the little thing to walk in. Soon as I have my hand on that plane, I covered that plane in white light. I just picture white light all over it. Mm-hmm. And I've been in some really turbulent weather, and we actually went down once on a highway in Florida because we had gotten hit by lightning, but we all made it. We're all alive. So that was good.
So we have another new person joining us from Germany, or I'm sorry, Germany, I'm looking at something else, Canada. She asked if we are mediums, paranormal investigators, parapsychologists, etc. I'm along for the ride. Marianne, what are you?
I am definitely a paranormal investigator. I have to figure out if you've got a ghost in your house or if you've got squirrels in the attic making the noise. So I am not a medium. I'm not a psychic. And I don't know what the last one even is. So I'm not that either, whatever that last one was.
Yeah. In this mode, I'm just a moderator, question reader.
Yeah, but you have abilities too. But
I'm the sass aspect.
right.
Let's see. Here we go. So for anybody new to the law of abundance, how do you write the law of abundance? And I'll take my window out real quick. So when you hold up your check, everybody.
Okay. You write out, you never date it. You do not want to put a type on it. So you just don't date it. You write out your name in full. You do not put an amount because you want the amount to be, you want it to be a surprise. Where you would write out the amount of the check, you write paid in full. And then where you would sign your name, you write law of abundance. This has to be done on a new moon, and that's once a month. We actually had two the 1 month, but usually it's once a month. It has to be done before the new moon peaks that day. Now, like this one that's coming up in January, if you have to do it after, a little after midnight, at least do it on that day, but get the best benefits. You want to do it before it peaks. Some of them are easy. Some of them, it doesn't peak until 7 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. So you've got all day to write it. But when it's at, in the middle of the night, those are a little more, difficult to do. And it's not money expected. It's not your paycheck. It's not your IRS return, tax return. People have won the lottery. People have gotten prizes. One lady got something like 1 million air miles with, I think it was United. Of course, she's not using those much now, but she got those. Jewelry, trips. A lady got a kidney. So it's amazing. And it's universal law. It's out there, but you have to ask.
Oh, well, thank you. Says we're both of amazing. Thank you. Lewis says if he's ever on a plane and sees you, he knows it's going to be a good plane ride.
You're right. It will.
Let's see. Let's go on. It's almost 11 o'clock.
If Lewis is still on, he's in London. What time is it there now? Do you know, Melissa?
I don't. I don't know if I can get to an app.
Oh, Ted said 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Let's see. Oh, so maybe Law of Abundance might be easier.
Well, he'd have to do it in his time zone.
Yeah.
On that date on his time zone, right.
All right. So, only because Varun and I both have appointments right at 11:30, so we got to scoot. But we do this every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., so feel free to join us next week. We have the January 18th Zoom session available. So if you would like to know if you have earthbounds in your house, a portal, negative energy, Marianne can tell you then, because it will be right at, or not right at, but can actually see you. Whereas here, we can see your questions, we can't see you. Otherwise, you're backed up probably now a good 9 weeks, in phone call catching, right?
Yeah, yes, I am. Yes, I am. So this is the last one of the year. Everybody have a safe New Year's Eve, and let's hope for a nice next year, nice, safe, healthy next year, so we can get back to real living again.
Right.
And we'll see you next year.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to watch this one again, it'll be available tomorrow. It takes YouTube 24 hours to process, but you can go back and watch any of the old ones too.
And again, on the YouTube tonight at 5:30, I will be going over all of these things to do on New Year's Eve day or Eve around midnight to get some of this good stuff going on.
Get your pennies ready.
That's right.
And your phone.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Where's my banner? I've lost the banner. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Where you go to see your chiropractor?
Yeah.